This is the final of the men's coxless pairs. In lane 1, that's furthest from the camera, the Yugoslavs. Here are the Romanians. Neagu was a silver medalist in Seoul. These are the Austrians, Sinsinger and Bauer. And out in the semi-final in Seoul, Jung and Kellner for East Germany, winners at Lucerne, which is often a good form guide, and the familiar figure of Steve Redgrave, and his new partner this year, Simon Beresford. Once again, Redgrave going for 2 titles, and familiar faces there too, the Pimenov twins of the Soviet Union. So nearest the camera in lane 6 is the Soviet Union, in 5 Great Britain, in 4 the German Democratic Republic, in 3 Austria, in 2 Romania, furthest from the camera in lane 1 Yugoslavia.
And this is going to be the race to determine the true speed of the new combination of Stephen Redgrave and Simon Beresford. They haven't been truly tested this season at the very highest level, though they had a very exciting race against the Pimenov at Henley. The Pimenov are a known quantity, and I think they reckon they can beat them on more or less any day. Looking now at the Yugoslavians, and now to the field. The crew to watch are the crew from the German Democratic Republic, who are in lane 4. They are the winners at Lucerne, and they've shown good form here. They surprised Redgrave and Beresford in the opening heat, and they appear to be very quick in the first 500 and indeed in the last. I think it's very important from Redgrave and Beresford's point of view that they do not lose touch with them. It's very important indeed they stay well up with them, and we'll see how the race develops.
Beresford and Redgrave doubling up, going also for the coxed pairs title, but very much on the understanding that it was this event that had to have their full priority. Out in the lead, the East Germans in lane 4. Goes to the camera in 6th, the Soviet Union. Beresford and Redgrave, you saw the bow of their boat in lane 5. They were back in about 4th or 5th place.
Yes, and not really the best place for them to be in. The crew there from the GDR rowing with great composure, and they've got about a length on Beresford and Redgrave, who are in lane 5. And in this next 500 metres, the British really need to get back on terms with them, close by at least half a length. And it's the Pimenov in lane 6 too, who've made a very strong start. They have in the past shown their ability to go fairly fast off the start. The question will be whether they're able to maintain it.
Interesting to see the Austrians in 3rd at this stage. We're looking at the moment at the East Germans and the Soviets, but there's the bow of the Austrian boat in lane 3. 5 of the countries in this final were represented in last year's Olympic final, and only the Yugoslavs have actually had a change of personnel. Austria are the newcomers. They've taken the place that Belgium occupied in Seoul.
Yes, and Austria perhaps a little unlucky in the Olympics. They were involved in an accident with an American crew before the semi-final. Otherwise, I think they might too have been in the final in Seoul. But there are Beresford and Redgrave, still well in the hunt, in the middle of the pack. But they should perhaps try and move up a bit further to keep an eye on the speed of the crew from the GDR. Looking across there to the Romanians. They too are in the coxed pair event, but we think the coxed pair is probably their priority event. And the Pimenov twins, again looking quite comfortable, but they've shown a lot more speed, and I don't expect to see them hold on to that in the last quarter.
Getting somewhat to the veteran stage anyway. They were Olympic silver medalists as a pair back in 1980. Last year rowed in the Soviet coxless 4. What a disaster in the Olympic final.
Britain now in 3rd position, but still 2.5 seconds down, which is quite a margin. The field is at last beginning to open up a bit.
It really is the most picturesque setting. No time for crews to admire the view. Soviet Union continue to lead just from East Germany. Lane 6 and lane 4. And the East Germans now, Jung and Kellner, beginning to put on a bit of pressure. Yes. Kellner was in the East German 8 back in 1985.
Yes, it's really a discovery, this pair, because the first time we'd seen them race was Lucerne. The Pimenov have put up a good struggle to this stage, but they're beginning to shorten a bit. And the crew there from the GDR just poling along. They've quickened a bit, and they've certainly got this race under control.
Thomas Young at bow and Uwe Kellner at stroke.
Both big men, both around 2 metres, which is 6'6". And they've now got the best part of 3/4 of the length, perhaps approaching the length over the Pimenovs from the Soviet Union. As we approach the final 500, there seems to be a big margin between them and the rest of the field.
The Soviets have gone past the East Germans at the halfway mark, but the East German pair have re-established their authority, and Beresford and Redgrave hanging on in third, but with a lot to do if they're going to come through over the last 500 metres.
Yes, I think, Jerry, that it's almost insurmountable. I think unless a disaster strikes the crew from the GDR, who are actually rowing extremely well. This is first-class pair-oared rowing. They're rowing as one man.
This is, of course, a new British partnership this year, Redgrave having had so much success with Andy Holmes right up to the Olympic Games last year. At the moment, it's Jung and Kellner for the German Democratic Republic. 250 metres to go, rather less than that now for the East Germans.
And a spirited challenge coming in there from the Austrian pair beyond the GDR in lane 3, and the British pair just coming into picture with the Soviets on the left.
Angle of the camera very deceptive, but certainly there's not much doubt that the German Democratic Republic are going to win it. Redgrave and Beresford coming hard for silver for Great Britain. The Austrians have come through very fast over this last 500 metres. Here are the East Germans coming up towards the line now. The rest of the field in their sights. They know the gold is theirs. And now, yes, silver for Britain and bronze for Austria. Beresford and Redgrave came through from third to second over the last 500 metres, but they were still well behind the East Germans. Austria take the bronze, and the East Germans celebrate.
Yes, I think today we've seen a new force in pair-oared rowing. This crew from the German Democratic Republic, obviously quite outstanding. And sadly, from the British interest, we were not really in contention. They never got the vital overlap in the second half of the course, and only just maintained their position with the Austrians charging to the line.
And there is confirmation of the final placings. German Democratic Republic from Great Britain, and a very good bronze for the Austrians. Another medal for Stephen Redgrave, this time silver. He already has 7 gold medals, 2 from the Olympic Games, 2 from earlier World Championships, and 3 from the Commonwealth Games when they were in Scotland. Here are the Austrians, well pleased with themselves. And handshakes all round. But that's the last final this afternoon in which we have any British representation.